That's not how the Force works.
I don't care.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing the movie. There's one scene that sticks out, and it probably sticks out for everybody, which is that, have you heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
What are you talking about?
G'day guys and welcome back to Casual Rage. Yo! G'day guys and welcome to Casual Rage 255, where we casually rage out about the topics of the week, and this week it's basically the Mandalorian and Grogu, isn't it? But not for much longer. It seems that we've gotten to my day off of Thursday. And there's I was going to say the hype is gone, but there was no real hype to begin with, was there? Let's be real. Let's be real. There's no hype for Star Wars whatsoever. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about Star Wars. So we've got actually a little bit to get through because I need to do a bit of a kind of like a review. I don't know. Again, I said in my video, you guys got a video this week. How'd you feel about that? I felt kind of good about getting it out, other than the fact that I didn't eat dinner until I don't know, 9:30, 10 o'clock, somewhere around there that night. Because I got home and I was like, I want to make a video. So I just made a video. I didn't even I walked in the door, had a shower, and then started making a video. But yes, we're going to make videos again. But anyway, I said in that video, I don't know how I'm going to review this. I should have probably done a review video, but it's hard to review a movie that has no story. It's hard to review a movie that doesn't have a plot. And it's hard to review a movie where the characters are actually really stupid. Really stupid. But we'll do our best. We'll do our best here today, I think. We are going to talk about the box office stuff. I have been paying a bit more attention to that. I don't usually track that. I usually watch maybe somebody like Ryan or somebody who does follow that and just pay attention through that. But I'm paying a little bit more attention to this one because, and the spin coming from it, the cope and the spin, the coping and the seething from the shills and the seals. But then also, too, the spin from, Lucasfilm. I think it's pretty obvious where we are. And I think they know it. I really do think that they know it. We do have Seal of the Week, of course. And we're going to watch a video. It's probably going to be one of the first things that we actually do. And it's one that I don't like this channel. But we're going to watch it anyway. It's Generation Tech. And his video is called This is Peak Mandalorian and Grogu. But is that enough? I mean, dude, in the title of your video is pretty stupid because are you stating, it doesn't ask a question in regards to this is peak Mandalorian and Grogu. It seems more like a statement. But then you're asking, is it enough? If it was peak, you would think there would be no question that it would be enough. Anyway, we're going to probably watch that video. But let's see who we've got here today. I was streaming on Grizzy's channel, and we were having a bit of fun over there. I go to... I don't know, I've been doing this for so long now, 5 years at least. You would think I would be better at streaming, and I do feel like I still interrupt too much. I get too passionate, I get too excited, And like I noticed it on last week's Flashcast. I mean, we do drink a little bit on Flashcast, but I got to like rein myself in. I get too excited and shit, and then I feel like I come across as, I don't know, just not good. Just not good. And I did the same thing while I was on with Grizzy. Like he was talking, and like I have a thought based on what he was saying, and I feel like I'm jumping in and continuing on to the conversation, but I'm not. I'm just interrupting. Anyway, enough about that. That's something I got to sort out for myself. Let's see what we've got. We've got Tillium in the chat. How you doing? Good to see you. Anthony Gaming. Excuse me. I went to see on Tuesday the Mandalorian movie. It was so boring. It came off as a side quest video game, and Baby Yoda look like some challenging but sometimes stupid as well. Dude, in this entire movie, Grogu comes across as stupid and retarded. Definitely. But like the thing that I found most hilarious in regards to everything was just how the dialogue didn't match up. Like you could tell that these people weren't even in the same room as each other. And, you know, even the stuntman, when the stuntman was maybe talking to Sigourney Weaver, because there's a conversation that takes place there, surely the stuntman is just saying the line, right? It's a bit like what they did with Chewie. You know, the person under the suit was just saying what Chewie was actually saying, and then they just put it over the top with the growls and stuff. But man, it is just a bad movie. I said it before. I said it on Grizzy's stream. You take this thing out of the Star Wars galaxy, and it's just a bad movie. Caleb, bring the rage. No. Yes. Hey, how you doing, Hammer? Let's see. EZ, how you doing? P-Dubs. See you. We got Alora in the chat. Hello, Alora. Have you actually seen it, Alora? Like, have you gotten a copy? Are you even interested in actually, like, watching a copy? I could get you a copy. Mandalorian and Grogu, 4 out of 10. I think that's being generous. I really think that's being generous. Because, okay, this is how I view 0 to 10 ranking system. 0 to 10 ranking system is 5 is obviously mid. It's meh. It's meh. It's okay. It's not even okay. It's just meh. Right? So your 6 would be your it's okay kind of thing. But between your 5 and 7, it's like, it's not really that good, but it's okay sort of thing. And then anything 8, 9, 10 is where you sort of get your rankings out of 3, like, you know, where does it sit in regards to how good it is? And then from 5 below down to 4, 3 is like, but it's shit. But then like you've got your lower rankings of what do you have there? 3, 2, 1. Well, no, because you got 4, 5, 4, 3, so it's 0 really. You know what I'm saying? And then you've got different levels of actually how bad it really is. And I think, I haven't even thought about where I would rank this movie as a number. I honestly haven't even thought about it. I've been too busy paying attention to fucking Bob saying it's a 9 out of 10 and shit like that. Let me think about it. We'll just continue through here. We got Haywood in the chat. How you doing? Who else? We got Fear of FEMA here. Mike Hill. Sula Felix. How y'all doing? Sorry, I got distracted because now I'm like really thinking about where I would put this. Maybe it is just a 3. You could be right on. You might be okay with a 4, but I think it's lower than that still. I think that this is probably a 2 or a 3. I don't even know where it gets that 1 point from, though. Well, that 1 or 2 points. Where does that, like, visually? I mean, this is the thing. I haven't seen the visuals necessarily as good as they could be, obviously. I'm not paying for this thing. Yeah, it's a 2 or a 3 for me. I can't even pick one. It's just bad. It's just really bad. Should I go through the review shit first, chat, before we get into Generation Tech's video? And it's probably the best thing, isn't it? It's probably the best thing. Kid Card Co. Am I saying that right? I don't know. If Rhino were a treat at the state fair, I'd call him as sexy on a stick. Okay. Is that what Jeremy said to someone? Is that a Jeremy joke? That's how I read that. Oh man, this movie. How do I even fucking start talking about this movie? Okay. I mean, everybody's talked about the position that Star Wars is in, how badly this movie was going to do. I mean, everybody's predictions to begin with, just in regards to the box office, everybody was sitting around the 400 to 600 sort of range. Now, I think about that just alone, and I think we're talking about a Star Wars movie here, right? We're talking about something that has been on hiatus in the theaters for 7 years. We should actually have, based on what we've seen in the past, a flood of people making their way to the theaters to see a Star Wars movie. And again, they want to try and spin this 165 million as a success. And some people are even, it only cost them 165 million, basically. So they're basically breaking even. Obviously, so many people talk about that stuff. But I just want to bring this up really quickly because I thought about this before. Because I was wondering, I think we talked about it last week, but I was wondering what The Force Awakens opening weekend box office was. And it was 528 million. I mean, it was 248 million in America alone, America and Canada. And then the international box office was 281 million. Now, yes, okay, you could make the argument that this movie isn't in it's not one of the episodic movies, right? It's outside of that universe. But all they've been doing on Disney Plus so far has been all basically sort of leading up to stuff like this. The movie should be, if they believe that the stuff that they brought out on Disney Plus, this movie should be a connective tissue piece to those stories. But as we saw on Movie Bob's fucking review, is it Movie Bob? The fact that it's connective tissue there's no connective tissue is a good thing. So for them, this movie doesn't connect with anything outside of any of these things, but yet apparently that's a good thing. But the box office and the results of this movie, Like, I just don't know how you can't see the people are just done with this crap. And this movie is more evidence that this isn't Star Wars. So there's no connective tissue in this movie to anything. It's its own isolated story, which is kind of stupid. The only connective tissue that it does have is the fact that we get a little bit of stuff at the beginning where exposition basically at the beginning where it just says that Mando's been working for them for ages. And he just obviously lives in his hut where he's fucking where the Naboo starfighter's parked now that he's got a Razor Crest again. I mean, the whole story, the thing is to go through this in a series of events, which I'm sure you guys have probably seen people's reviews and stuff like that out there. There's so many avenues where it just goes messy. We're like having the context of what we've got, like with the Jabba thing. It's with the Jabba thing. Sorry, the Rota the Hutt thing. Fucking Mando. The premise of the movie is as simple as this. I feel Mando is commissioned by the New Republic, Sigourney Weaver, to go to the Hutts to find out who the blank card, they only know him by coin. I can't even remember whether or not there's any other parts to that name, but his name is Coin. A blank card. So he's got to figure out who that person is, and the Hutt twins know who that is or have information in regards to who that may be. So he's commissioned to go there and to do whatever the Hutts need. Apparently their nephew's been captured, Rota, and they need his help to do that, to get the information, to get the intel so they can find out who this person is. He goes to Rota. Rota doesn't want to leave because the Hutt twins are going to kill him because he obviously, and this is the other thing that doesn't make sense, he is obviously the person that has all of Jabba's territory now, except for the fact that in the Book of Boba Fett, the twin Hutts left Tatooine and I think other parts of Jabba's territory to Boba. When does that take place? Book of Boba. Oops. Fett timeline. God, what the fuck is going on? 9 BBY, 5 years after Return of the Jedi. So, hang on a second. The Book of Boba Fett, Mando Season 1, and this movie all take place in the same year. Except for the fact that between Book of Boba Fett takes place after season 2, correct? Because that's where we get the 2 episodes of Grogu with Luke. And that's 2 years, apparently. I just fucking, what the fuck? I can't even remember my train of thought. That's so stupid. No way. No way. Is that true? She was talking about the drama stuff. You sure she didn't just end the stream? Because she was going to go over to Rumble and do Rumble exclusive. Is she still live on Rumble? I need to check this now. Did she really? Where are you, Anna? Oh, okay. There you go. As soon as I open it up, did you hear that? Rumble Studios crashed her YouTube, she thinks. But she's been having problems with Rumble Studio and keeping her live and everything. Okay. She's safe. Okay, so again, their fucking timeline's all messed up with this shit anyway. Where was I? So yeah, they gave the territory to Bulba anyway. And now they're dead. So this is the thing too, because the twins end up dying at the end of this. So Book of Boba Fett definitely has to take place before this movie. Dude. What a mess. I need to do a video on that. I might do a video on that this week. Bring up all the timelines. Just bring it up through Google. What a joke. Anyway, it turns out that the guy that's holding Rota captive, despite the fact that he wants to be there, despite the fact that he's got one more match and then he's free, but he wants to be there. So even if he's free, he's going to stay and still fight in the pits, despite the fact that he's got no contract or deal or anything like that. And I don't even know. But it turns out the guy that's holding him captive is the coin guy that they want. Well, while Mando is taking Rota back to the twins, that's when we get all that exposition, and that's really the movie. Rota ends up being saved, not being taken to the twins. The twins end up getting eaten by the big snake that you saw in the trailers. Mando and Grogu live happily ever after, yibbity yibbity yibbita. That's all, folks. Not that it does that screen again that they did at the end of Mando Season 3, but it's not a good movie. And it's not good Star Wars at all. At all. You know, I've mentioned it. It's one of the parts of this movie that I hate the most. And it's played off as a complete joke. And honestly, it's from that moment that I truly stopped paying attention and I nearly fell asleep. I will say it is the most boring part of the movie. But when Mando gets bitten by the snake that the Hutt twins have, which has a poison in it, and Grogu is basically, I don't know how he ended up there, because Mando told Grogu to go, and we were all under the impression that he left with the Babu Fricks in their tiny little ship. But then all of a sudden he's just there. And anyway, he builds his hut and he goes to slide Mando in using the Force, and he donks his head on the end of the tree and, his legs are sticking out. And Grogu moves him back and forward and donks his head 4 or 5 times, something like that. And it's just played off as a joke, but Mando is injured. Grogu's just stupid. But it's just designed to make kids laugh. And it's just, man. It's this isn't the same thing as what I said about, yes, Star Wars essentially is for kids, but when you get older, you start to see a few more of those actual adult kind of themes, or things that just an adult would understand maybe more, not necessarily adult themes. But just your understanding is a little bit different. But it still all makes sense. This is going to be a bit of a messy kind of review, to be honest with you, because it's just bad all over the place. The fact that there's no use in Disney Star Wars anymore for translator droids. The Hutt twins just speak to Mando in Huttese and he understands it. Now, that's not to say that maybe he does understand Huttese. You know, just like Han understood Wookiee. Or at least understood Chewie. But like, again, in Disney's universe, everybody can just understand everybody, and everybody just conveniently, if they need to, can speak in another language. And I mentioned this on Grizzy's channel, on Grizzy's stream just before. You know, the Jawa fucker, the mechanic chick. She talks in the frog language, if you remember. When I can't even remember what season that's in. When Mando takes the frog lady with the eggs that Grogu keeps eating the eggs. She speaks in that frog language, but then also too, she speaks in Jawanese or whatever the Jawas speak. But see, the thing that makes it even more stupid, and I mentioned this as well, is the fact that she speaks to them in basically in English. And they can understand her because basic is the most dominant spoken word in the universe, I think. I'm pretty sure. But they can understand her. So they speak back to her and she can understand them, which I think is silly. You would at least need a translator droid to translate that. And that's not hard to do. You don't even need to have all these 3PO kind of droids. You could have like little ones that just literally that's all they do is just translate other languages. You could do something like that. But no, again, it's just I have understanding. But then she speaks back to them in their language, as opposed to the fact that she could just speak to them in basic again because they can understand her. But again, there's not even that much thought that goes into this anymore. Nobody gives a fuck. And clearly the shills and the seals out there that are cheering this thing on, trying to play it off, the coping and seething that's happening. Fucking, they're the only ones, man. Anyway, Albatross 4920 for $5 says, I want the Babu Frick aliens to get eaten by a seagull or a big dog. Well, it's funny because they, again, play that off as a joke. I swear, if Embo's dog thing, whatever he's got there, was just like, you know, even when a dog chews on a chewing toy or something like that, they still at point end up destroying it. You know, their teeth still pierce it and stuff like that. It's just... And of course, the reason why they do that is because it gives Grogu a way to get there, you know, to save Mando essentially and all of that sort of thing. They've got, you know, because now the Fricks are incentivized to go and save their brother or whatever, you know. Thank you for the $5. What else is there? So yeah, I don't like the whole translator droid thing. Reminds me of the Andor prison stuff and not having droids there. You know, I'm not going to get completely into that, but obviously, as opposed to programming droids to build these things, you have sentient beings. It doesn't fit in the universe for me. It's stupid. It makes the Empire look dumb. And the non-translator thing just makes the universe feel stupid and small because everybody can just understand everybody. It makes C-3PO look stupid. In fact, no, it doesn't make C-3PO look stupid. It makes the characters that could never understand, you know, Like when Luke was talking to Jabba at the beginning of Return of the Jedi, and you had 3PO translating for Luke. Well, fuck. Luke, even being as powerful he is as a Jedi, and I know he's only just sort of become a Jedi in Return of the Jedi, or he's getting there. But man, he looks fucking ridiculous. Fucking even Mando can understand Huttese. And you can't? Or maybe he could, and there was just 3PO was just translating for everybody else. Like, they're things that I wonder if they are to, like, you know, you keep hearing this stuff about them remaking the original trilogy and stuff like that. Dude, how are they going to do that scene in Return of the Jedi in Disney's Star Wars version of it, Return of the Jedi? What will 3PO's role be? Anthony Daniels made 3PO look stupid. Yeah. Again, the dialogue in this movie was janky as hell. Like, it almost seems like I said, they're not even in the same room. It's recorded lines, and then this person saying this, and then the recorded line coming in, and there's no like chemistry or anything between them. Sigourney Weaver was everybody's talked about it. She phoned in the performance. I mean, it's crazy to me that they couldn't even convince her to say put attack foils in attack position, put S foils, sorry, in attack position. It's just like prepare for attack or this or that, blah 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 blah. Like it's not. There's not even a Star Wars feel in the dialogue. We get the Grizzy raid coming through. Hail, guys. Welcome in. I'm just going through a bit of my review. It's very messy because it's just a messy movie. And I'm all over the place because I don't care about the continuity of the movie because there's no continuity within it anyway. It's just janky crap. But thank you for coming over. Thank you, Grizzy, for having me on. I'm sorry I had to bail out early. Hit that ejection seat. I had to come over. Hail to the chat. Yes. Hail to the chat. And now the one thing, and I mentioned this on Flashcast over the weekend, the one thing that I didn't mind that a lot of people actually didn't like were the chess pieces from Star Wars. You know, now the reason why I kind of didn't really mind it, I thought it was funny and I thought it was over the top. And the fact that I say I didn't mind, like I do mind in this because of the way it was done. It's obvious why it's done. It's there for the seal clappers, right? It's there for these guys. So I completely understand that. But what I'm getting at is if, let's say, again, Star Wars was in a really, really good space right now, and everything that they were doing was really good, having that as like a little Easter egg in there, we'd probably be more praising it than saying, oh, like, how dare they put that in there? Because when you do nostalgia and you do Easter eggs like that and things like that really well, they're received positively, they're talked about positively, and all of that kind of thing. The reason why this is in there is purely for, oh, remember, like that's where the difference lies. You know, they did the exact shot of that thing picking up. I don't know, like I'm sure there's people out there that know the exact name of these creatures and everything, but the bit where he picks that one thing up and slams it down, you know, what we see in the game, it does that exact same move. Now, again, if we were talking about some good Star Wars and this was just a Easter egg that was slotted in there, you know what's really funny is that if, let's say, it was actually really good and this was just an Easter egg that was slotted in there, 50% of the audience probably wouldn't have even noticed it. And then when they get told about it, they're like, oh, no shit. oh, that's awesome. And then they go back and watch it again and they're like, oh, look, I can't believe I missed it the first time I saw it. But it's so obvious in there that everybody noticed it, everybody saw it, and everybody saw it for what it actually was. So it does, like, that's why I say I don't really have an issue with it, but I do because it's the way Disney's using it. You know, it's kind of the same thing with Thrawn, the way that Disney uses the character of Thrawn and throws him in there and makes him stupid. Makes him so fucking stupid. Just for the fun of it, let's just see how stupid he is.
You'd better put a chick in it. And make it fucking gay as fuck.
Going somewhere?
And I want it lame!
Put her on a path of her own choosing, so that no matter which direction she takes, we'll always be one step ahead of her. What?
That is so lame!
We'll put her path on her own. We'll put her on a path of her own choosing. And that way we'll be one step ahead of her. That's some unbelievable writing there. Some unbelievable intelligence. Double A, yes. The shills are gonna have to watch 5 times at least to bring in the box office income. If the movie is going to make $1 billion, I don't even think 5 times for each of them would be enough. I really don't. I really don't. Okay, so let's think about this for a second. 165 million. They've all seen it once already. We know that they've all seen it once already. That includes people that have just gone to see it to do their reviews and they know that it's going to be shit and they've already like ruled out this is a good movie. There are some normies out there that are seeing it. They're only going to go and see it once. And it made 165 million. I mean, let's be generous and just times that by 5. It still doesn't make $1 billion. It's close, but I don't even think you'd do that. This next weekend drop-off is going to be incredible to see. Incredible to see. We'll get to you, Generation Tech. We'll get to you. I want to go through a little bit of the box office, being that we're talking. I've got nothing more to say about the movie. It's a shit fucking movie. My rating out of 10, I'm giving it a 2. I'm settling on 2. And the only reason why it's not getting a 1 right now is because of how I saw it. I didn't get to see any visuals. The music is shit. The music is so bad. Like that opening scene when Grogu does destroy that mouse droid and everything. It's got Mando and he's fighting and stuff, and it's got this opening action scene and shit like that. And fucking Mando, it's got this like maybe big kind of techno-y kind of music, but it's also like sort of trying to be intense, right? And then it cuts to Grogu and it's this like fucking childish, like, oh, look how cute and sweet. That's the reaction that the music is trying to impose on the audience. And people have said that the soundtrack in this has been really good. We got a cam raid coming in. Camelot, thank you, brother. Welcome, everybody. I'm just talking about shit Star Wars. I'm just talking about the Mandalorian and Grogu. I've pretty much gone through my review of it. But, like, no. We're not talking about Star Wars. No. Thank you, Camelot. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. But man, I got nothing more really that I can say about this movie other than if you take this movie out of the Star Wars galaxy, it's a shit fucking movie. The premise of the characters, like storylines, the plot of the entirety of the movie is an absolute nightmare to just keep together. Sometimes you honestly feel like you're watching a silent movie. There is that much. I might actually do it myself. I've got a copy of it. I might sit down and I might just time how much dialogue. Like, just get my timer out. And every time somebody starts talking, hit. And then every time somebody stops talking, stop it. And then just do that for the entirety of the movie. And I reckon there's only 25 to 30% of the time taken up actually has dialogue. The rest is basically a silent movie. You've got music. It's not good. It's not good. And like I said, you take it out of the Star Wars galaxy, but like this is the thing. It is in the Star Wars galaxy, and then it's got those problems as well, which we went over. The understanding languages, there's no point in fucking translator droids anymore. You got so many different elements to this, which they ignored them. They ignored them throughout the development phase of all of this shit. Thank you, Anthony Gaming, for $5. I'm hoping Fremantle win the premiership this year and get over the hoodoo, get me to the finals. This is definitely not the stream for that, but let me just say this. We've got you, North Melbourne, have you next, not this weekend, but next weekend, because we got the bye this weekend. And I'm slightly optimistic that we could get one over on you. I know you're on top of the ladder. So we're talking about footy, Australian rules football, best game in the world. But yeah.
I found this on the web for Tell Me About Footy, Australian rules football, best game in the world. Check it out.
When did I say Siri? No. Thank you for that. And then Kanifi, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Karifi. I'm dyslexic and retarded. So thank you for the gift of membership. I appreciate it. Now somebody can put the seal clapping emojis in the chat. I appreciate all you guys coming in. It's been awesome. Thank you for the raid, Cam. Thank you for the raid, Grizzy. I appreciate you guys. And we have John Gets Gaming for his 14-month membership. Will the movie made more than you'll ever... Sorry. Will the movie made more... Well, the movie made more... See my dyslexia of people? Dude, I've put in the title, and somebody actually mentioned this in the comments of my video. I said, I wanted to say, why did Lucasfilm make this movie? And I put, way did Lucasfilm make this movie? And I had it there for like 24 hours like that. So retarded. It's embarrassing, but I'm retarded. Well, the movie made more than you'll ever make. So there you chuds. That means Filoni is a giga genius. And you just don't get the deep storytelling. Plus, if you don't like it, you're probably a bigots. Sorry, I did completely fucking mess that up. But yeah, you're basically being the fucking shills and the seals out there. The thing is that they don't have any impact anymore. The only thing is that they're going to continue getting is their access and their little gift baskets and things like that, and the unwritten contract between the creators and these shills that will just shill for them is that, you know, we'll be positive and we'll continue spitting out the line. Make sure you go see this in IMAX and stuff like that. We saw it through all of them. You can't tell me that there wasn't something. You know, in one of their gift baskets, they get a little letter. Oh, please, if you can, mention that it comes, you know, it's coming out in IMAX, and to go and see it in IMAX, it's the best experience that you'll get out of it. You know, they don't tell them, oh, we sent you these things, so you must say. But surely, I mean, it's so obvious, isn't it? Seal claps, that's right. Oh man, it's so disappointing when you think about, you know, just even pop culture in general. Melissa Lord, I see you. You know, all our entertainment, all the things that we've sort of loved in the past, they're not going all that great, are they? And the thing is that they're not really coming up with anything new, are they? They're not coming up with anything new. They're not creating anything new. They're not making their own new art. They're transforming all of the stuff that we've all loved growing up. You could almost say the golden era of entertainment, and they're turning it all into slop. Oops, I meant no. Hold on, I missed a member chat, I think. Yeah. Mike Hill for 24 months, and then we'll get into some of the box office stuff. Some people are idiots, not understanding how the box office works, thinking just because it makes as much as the budget, it's on the way making a profit. Yeah, and these people, I don't know if they've been told or they've heard it in the past or whatever, but surely they can't be that stupid and that naive for as long as they are. And if they are putting it out there, there'd be people in the comments and people in the chat that would be correcting them. And it's whether or not they then read that and then choose to continue being naive to it or not. That's the thing. It's a choice now at this point in time because it's so obvious. It's so obvious that The Mandalorian and Grogu is that bad of a movie that you've got to now choose to enjoy it. And they would argue it's the other way around. You're making the choice to hate this. You're going in already hating it. Well, I think the reason why we're already going in hating it is because the 3 seasons of The Mandalorian, well, for me, were garbage. And they got progressively worse. So I've got, like, obviously all of that to go off, but then there's all the promotional stuff to go off as well. You know, you had your Super Bowl trailer thing that you did, not even a trailer, the Super Bowl thing that you did, all the promotional stuff. I mean, you were promoting on fucking mainstream news here in Australia on fucking Star Wars Day. How much did that cost you? Let's bring this up. I don't think I need audio. So I did mention in my video, they had all zeros at the end. And I was like, I'd never seen it with just all zeros at the end. But obviously it was just like an estimate. Now, I had this open last night and it was sitting, like, the domestic box office was sitting at 94. So there's 10 million that's been added. I don't know how to read this properly. Opening 81 million domestically. Is that right? Is that just the 3 days, or is that including the 4 days? I don't know how to necessarily read this properly. But we can see here that they're saying right now the worldwide box office is $167,629,111. And this is a Star Wars movie. This is the thing. I don't care whether or not this has broken even making back its budget, which we know isn't the case. I don't care if this breaks even at the $400 to $600 million mark. This is a Star Wars movie. This is a Star Wars movie. We brought it up before. The Force Awakens. Opening weekend was $500 million. Opening weekend. Now, yeah, massive hiatus, right? And people, they're trying to play off this low box office, the shills and the seals. They're trying to play off this low box office as, oh, it was away for 7 years. How could you expect it to come back with a vengeance sort of thing? It's like, what are you talking about? Dude, when Star Wars came back in the 90s, everybody came out of the woodwork, fucking massive droves. When the sequels came out, as much as we all hate them now, everyone came out, massive droves. You go on a 7-year hiatus, you come out with all this garbage on Disney Plus, and nobody shows up. So you can spin this however way you want. The fact that this Star Wars movie, whether or not it's connected to the larger story or not, let me just actually hold on 1 second. Let's see, what was Rogue One's opening box office? Worldwide was 290. So let's use that as the barometer. Which what? Is it even worse? Hang on a second. Was the... Oh no, what am I talking about? 500 million. Yeah, okay. So for a non-connected episodic movie from the Star Wars universe, the first one that Disney came out with still hit $290 million opening weekend. I mean, and this is the thing, they're in such denial about the diminishing returns. They think that Star Wars, I don't know how they could possibly think this, but they honestly think that Star Wars is healthy. They honestly, let's see if I can read through this fucking, oh, and I've got a super chat I need to catch up on. Hold on. Let's see if I can read through this fucking tweet. Some Star Wars fans are toxic as hell, but that doesn't stop my enjoyment for the Mandalorian and Grogu. Good. I'm glad that doesn't destroy your enjoyment of the Mandalorian and Grogu. It does make me curious on why you feel it necessary then to come out and try and justify why it's good or why it's successful based on the fact that the majority of people out there are actually saying that this is shit, and you're the one that's saying that some Star Wars fans are toxic. It's a good way to start it. 3-day gross was 80 million, 4-day gross 98 to 100 million, international gross was 60 million, open 167 million, blah, 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 blah. The question I have is, what does the fan base want to see from Disney? The sequel trilogy wasn't good enough. Skeleton Crew, Boba Fett, Ahsoka, The Acolyte, Mando Season 3, I'd argue all, were all labeled terrible by the by the diehards. I read that as dickheads. That's my dyslexia. And maybe a little bit of Tourette's, perhaps. Dickheads. Diehards. That's so funny. Andor was loved mostly all. No, yeah, it was mostly all. So does Disney go down the darker path with the brand? A New Hope was light. Empire Strikes Back was a mixed of both, but Return of the Jedi was very good, but it didn't seem to know what to be. What are you talking about? The original trilogy? The prequels were hated for years until recently. That's not true either. I hate that fucking narrative of the prequels being hated. They weren't as loved as the originals. Granted, there's actually a video. We'll just watch this. Oh, so we do need audio. Hold on. Let me hit the super chat as well. John Gets Gaming, because we've got to go out of this, for $5. They're increasingly desperate. That's an understatement. Imagine saying in 2015 a Star Wars movie would make under 400 million, most likely after a 7-year theatrical break. Sad state Star Wars is in. I completely agree. Yep. Who would have thunk it? You would have said you were crazy back in 2015 if you said that this was going to be the box office or the opening weekend to a Star Wars movie. All right, let's see what this shill has to say. Oh, do you have audio? Did I even get out of here and change it and put audio on? I don't even remember, so we'll just do it again.
The box office numbers for The Mandalorian and Grogu are in, and it might surprise a few. But I didn't realize how strong of a toxic fan base the Star Wars fan base can be online, especially if you like The Mandalorian and Grogu.
So, okay, if you enjoyed The Mandalorian and Grogu, you enjoyed it. Unless you hear what my criticisms are of the movie. The only way that I could be destroying your enjoyment of the movie based on my criticisms is that you can see truth in my criticism. If you heard what I had to say about this movie and you thought, what a load of shit, this is why what he is saying is absolute bullshit, then I wouldn't be able to destroy your enjoyment of it. But it seems like with all of you people that do say this and spin this narrative, right, that our criticisms of the movie actually do destroy your enjoyment of it because there's truth in what we're saying. And that doesn't make us toxic. That makes us Star Wars fans, and what we're seeing isn't Star Wars, and they're trying to label it and sell it to us as Star Wars, and we're not having it anymore. People are done giving Lucasfilm, giving Disney chances. And you want the fucking toxic. You want to know the toxic fan base? The toxic fan base are the fan base that don't even give a fuck and all they want to do is ship certain characters. The toxic fan base are the ones that wanted Adam Driver to break up with his wife so that he could marry Daisy Ridley in real life. The toxic fan base are the ones that try and fucking discredit George Lucas's Star Wars to heighten this Disney garbage that continues being pushed out there with the label of Star Wars on it. And I wouldn't even go so far to call you the toxic fan base. I would just go so far to call you toxic people. Because you're clearly not fans of the thing, so I can't call you the toxic fan base. What a joke.
Don't get me wrong, I understand you love these characters.
Oh, don't get me wrong. You're toxic, but don't get me wrong. I just called you toxic, but don't get me wrong. I understand nobody loves these characters. Not out of the toxic fans that you claim to be toxic.
you care about this world, and you're not happy with a certain direction that it's going in. But just because someone else likes it doesn't give you the right to be an ass to them.
I'm not being an ass to you. I think you're a moron. I think that if you watch this movie and you come out of it, like, even with a smile on your face, without, like, even if you don't come out of this movie with a confused look on your face, then I question your sanity. I question your reality. I question what you consider to be bad and what you consider to be good.
Or something as a movie. The Mandalorian and Grogu TV series I loved. I was excited for the movie. Yes, I think the sequel trilogy from Disney was terrible. I don't think they captured the prequels or the original trilogy.
It's funny, you know, because I actually kind of think as a movie, very clear here, guys, as a movie, other than maybe Rise of Palpatine, the other two movies are at least movies. If you get my meaning. This doesn't even pass as a movie. This actually doesn't even pass as a TV show. That's how bad the writing is. Everybody wants to say it's 3, maybe 4 episodes of the Mandalorian TV show. And yes, I can see what people are saying in that, but it's not even suited. The writing and everything is that bad. It's not even suited for television.
At all, and it was a spit in the face towards fans with how they handle the OG characters. I'll agree on that.
Okay.
It's no excuse either, because during the prequel era, the same thing kind of happened.
Really?
People were pissed at Hayden Christensen and George Lucas, and then later on they were like, "Oh no, I actually like those guys."
I think you're mistaking the fans with the critics, and the fact that the internet was very different back then. I would, dude. These people have the memory of like a goldfish. You know, where the fish is swimming in the tank and it sort of hits the glass. Dunk. It's like, oh, don't do that again. Dunk.
Now they're not happy with Disney. Andor, Rogue One, Mandalorian were fantastic.
Oh
pieces
shit.
of
Oh
Star Wars.
shit.
Yes, it's had its bad moments. But
I love how he continues acknowledging, and this is the thing with these people. This is where I believe that the cope really does come into play, right? Because these people, they watch this slop, they see the bad that's in it. He just mentioned that there's bad in these. It's not always great, and he didn't like the sequels as well and stuff like that. But it's the toxic fans. We're just pointing that stuff out, but we're toxic. Dude, I am now convinced, completely 100% convinced, that these people, through these videos, are just trying to convince themselves. They're trying to justify it to themselves that this is good. And the only way that they can justify it to themselves is to get some positive feedback from somebody else. The thing is when they put it out there and the majority of the people are piling on them saying, what the fuck are you talking about? This is absolute garbage. It's the toxic people. They're the toxic ones. I'm only going to listen to the ones that come in and say, oh, I thought The Mandalorian and Grogu was awesome as well. I don't know what these people are talking about. They're just toxic, racist, misogynistic bigots. And then he'd be like, yeah, look, I got one. He agrees with me. I swear, like, you're not convincing me to change my mind on whether or not this is garbage or not, let alone good Star Wars, just a garbage fucking movie. Mad Dog asks for $5, hey man, have you ever seen 12 Monkeys TV show from Sci-Fi on Prime? No, I haven't. It's really good. I'm fully in. Can't start Spider Noir until I'm done. 4 seasons, 13 episodes. I might have to check that out. I have heard good things. Got other people in there supporting. Thanks for the $5 super chat. I might check that out. I was actually just a little bit off topic. I was actually going to probably start doing a couple of gaming streams again. I ended up getting the new Batman Lego game, so we might play a little bit of that. Probably not tonight because I've got stuff that I need to do after my stream today, but through the week, definitely. Spider-Man Noir. Yeah. Did I say Spider-Man Noir? Spider Noir. And am I fucking stop making fun of me? Let's continue.
Happy with anything. These numbers for the Mandalorian and Grogu aren't phenomenal, but I think they're pretty good for a product that started on streaming as a TV series and jumped to the big screen as a...
I understand what you're saying, that this is a product that started on a streaming service and then jumped over to the big screen and all of that kind of thing. However, Star Wars as a whole didn't start fucking a couple of fucking months ago or a couple of fucking years ago. What are you talking about? This is what I mean by the cope and the seethe. Dude, I don't care. 165 million. I've got to say, it surprises me that it made that much.
Movie. Over its 3-day opening in the US, it made 81 to 82 million.
Wow.
If you count it as a 4-day weekend because of Memorial Day weekend, then it made 100 to 102 million.
Wow.
US. Internationally alone, it made 64 to 65 million, which is pretty low.
Pretty low. Like, and hang on, you've just said it's pretty low. The numbers individually aren't great, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so how are you going to cope and see this one out?
Overall, over the weekend, in its opening, it made 167 million worldwide on a reported production budget of 165 million. And I know people are going to be like, that's not the real budget. I understand that. That's the production budget. That's the reported budget. I know that does not include marketing. I know that. And a movie usually has to make...
Yeah, but it's not just that either. It's the fact that... Hang on, what's he going to say here?
Twice its budget to break even. I know this.
It's not just twice the budget, buddy. You know, they don't take 100% of the box office take.
But look at the state of Star Wars. First movie in 7 years. COVID has happened. We've had a decline in movie theaters. And also, this was a TV show, and now it's a movie. And apparently the merchandise sold at AMC this weekend was the third biggest selling merchandise in AMC history.
Oh, really?
So there's ups and there's downs with this movie.
No, I think there's just downs. Because also, too, you're coping and seething and trying to spin the numbers and all of this kind of thing, while all the normies are out there that are maybe going to see this movie and watching it and being like, oh my God, what has Star Wars turned into? I mean, let's be real, dude. There's normies that will go and see this movie and Zeb shows up and they don't even introduce him. I know who Zeb is. I know who Zeb is because I've watched Rebels, and it's not even connected to the Mandalorian show. But they don't even introduce the character to anybody that doesn't know and hasn't watched the shows. No one's coming back for Star Wars after this. No one. The normies aren't even going to show up for the next one.
Critics didn't like it, but audiences really did. It is officially the lowest Disney era opening for a Star Wars movie, but it's also the highest rated by audiences.
Oh.
And if you...
Again, I have to say, the only people that really give a fuck about reviewing this on something like Rotten Tomatoes or anything like that are these people. And let's be real. All we have to say to that is this.
They came bounding over.
Fuck off, Disney, you fucking cunt!
Fuck off, Disney, you fucking cunts. Well, that was a fun video to watch, wasn't it? Let's see. I've got a whole bunch of fucking cope and seethe and fucking spin this however they fucking want to spin this. I haven't even read through this one. I've just seen a whole heap of numbers. And I don't even know if it's a positive or a negative, actually. Let's see. The Mandalorian Grogu missed the $100 million mark over the 4-day memorial holiday at the US box office after grossing $16.4 million on lowest first Monday for Star Wars film under Disney. I'd like to know if that's like ever. I really would. And adjusting for inflation, obviously, on like the prequels and the OT. Because I don't think it would just be Disney. I think it'd be all of them. 25.5% drop from Sunday versus Solo. 16.6. Wow, it's so very close. Number 16, biggest Monday memorial ever. Oh, all it goes through is the top memorial. Oh, I don't care about that. Sorry, I thought it was something completely different. Damn. I thought it was specific Star Wars movies. But we still have more shit that they're trying to spin. Why do I keep closing the window? Why do I keep closing the fucking window? So, Variety tried to fucking spin this by saying fucking The Mandalorian and Grogu blast to number 1 at UK and Ireland box office because it made $5.2 million, million pounds, which is $7.1 million. Again, that's all you really get from this. It's fucking a Star Wars movie. You're trying to spin this as a success based on fucking what? A made in Ireland, 5.2 million pounds in a day. Or was that over the weekend? Sorry, the UK and Ireland box office, maybe I should read it, found its force over the weekend as Disney Star Wars spin-off, Mandalorian and Grogu captured the top spot, debuting to, there you go, 5.2 million pounds. Yeah, but how long's Michael been out for? It's just they've got to try and spin this to be positive. Blast to number 1. Did it really blast to number 1? Kind of crawled maybe to number 1. The future of the Star Wars Mandoverse is looking pretty murky after The Mandalorian and Grogu. I don't need to go into this. I just wanted to basically bring up sort of that headline. I think the entire franchise of Star Wars, not that it hasn't been for a long time, but I would say after this movie, the entire franchise of Star Wars is like in this murky space of unknownness. Because Star Wars has now lost its identity. Star Wars has lost its fans. Star Wars is it's really is dead now. Not that it wasn't sort of dead before, but it really is fucking dead now. And I don't think it's just the future of the Mandoverse. I mean, fuck. 4 months before this movie was announced, we had the announcement of the Rey movie. Anything on that? Any updates? Any news? Disney, Lucasfilm, Sharmino Bay-Chinoy, Daisy Ridley. Anyone want to speak up on that, perhaps? What else have we got here? Oh, this one. This cope now. I tell you fucking what. The message inside Disney is that Star Wars Starfighter is a far more of a real test for the Star Wars brand than The Mandalorian and Grogu. So now we're going to wait until 2027 before we see before the fans decide not to go and see another Star Wars movie. This is almost insulting, this headline, to the fan base. Because the fans have already spoken. And once again, they're choosing to ignore the fact that, no, that can't be real. That can't be the truth. They're not believing their eyes. They're not believing their ears. The only people that they're believing are the people like your Generation Tech that we're probably going to watch, and your Star Wars Explains, and then, you know, even your Star Wars Theories, your fence riders. You know, criticizes the shit out of Dave Filoni while sucking him off. It's just beyond me. Beyond me. But guys, we haven't even made it to the second weekend for The Mandalorian and Grogu yet. And we're already trying to spin this as, oh, well, we can't really use The Mandalorian and Grogu as a true representation of where Star Wars is actually at. We need to wait another year for the Ryan Gosling disassociated, disattached piece that we're also going to do from the Star Wars galaxy over here. Why? Is it to keep people interested in Ahsoka Season 2? Like, nobody gives a fuck about Star Wars anymore. You destroyed it more with The Acolyte. You destroyed it more with your Obi-Wan Kenobi show. You destroyed it more with the Book of Boba Fett, your Mandalorian show. You know, I argue that all 3 seasons are absolute garbage. They're all shit, right? But they do get progressively worse. But even still, it's undeniable that everybody talks about season 3 as like really fucking bad. What else we got here? The Mandalorian as its own sub-franchise has had north of $1 billion in merchandise sales. That's right. Wow. You've sold over $1 billion in merchandise. Can we please have a budget? Can we please have a budget for how much that merchandise costs to produce, please? Like, what are we talking about? Why are you trying to use the fucking the merch that it sold as how this thing's making fucking money? Now, yeah, fucking obviously we fucking got it in Spaceballs, the meme. Merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made. Yeah, okay. You want to make that argument? I'm sure maybe in this this article there's probably some evidence there to show your numbers to prove that what you're saying is true and that it's not just you're not just spinning it. But also too, even if, let's say, $1 billion in merchandise was sold, it's kind of interesting that $1 billion has been spent on merchandise, and we can't even get $500 million on an opening weekend, or maybe even, let's be generous and say we can't even get $250 million. Nobody cares. This narrative is bullshit. And dude, do you remember what they did with the fucking release of The Mandalorian and the Grogu merchandise? Remember how late they were on all of that shit? Trying to make up for it now. What other tabs do we have here? I saw Mandalorian and Grogu. It was fun little movie. It was a fun little movie. Obviously, jokes aside, it was better than I expected. That can almost go in Seal of the Week. That's where you're going to go. That's exactly where you're going to go. Collider. Mandalorian and Grogu lands lowest opening for Disney-era Star Wars movie. Again, I would like to see... I'd like to see if it is just a Disney-era thing. I'd like to see if it is just a Disney-era thing. What else do we have here? Oh, that's right. This is sort of more just to remind me. about like Jon Favreau. Is this the actual thing? Lucasfilm was like, we haven't done a movie in a while. Can you do something with these characters? Is there something there? Well, we had that little quote or that little statement from Jon Favreau saying, I don't know why Lucasfilm decided to make this movie. And we talked about it. It's obviously the whole distraction thing with Charmin Obaid-Chinoy. This was announced 4 months after Star Wars Celebration. And there was no talk of this movie even at Star Wars Celebration. And then they had to announce it basically as their distraction from Charmin Obaid-Chinoy's mess. And then they got stuck with it because the 3 movies that they announced at the Star Wars Celebration ended up going nowhere, including the Rey movie, including Dave Filoni's Mandoverse movie, and including James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi movie or whatever it was that they were planning there. Oh, I saw this. This was just obviously the difference. I didn't actually watch all the way through it, but I was interested to see how this is portrayed. Disney Star Wars influencers react compared to adults and children reacting to George Lucas Star Wars. Let's take a quick look.
Star Wars is back.
Hang on.
The movie was so intense. So much action and so much cuteness.
You're definitely going to want to see it in IMAX.
It does justice to the scope of Star Wars.
It takes up every part of the screen.
Impressive.
All I got to say, the Jedi have returned.
We're just fanatics out here waiting on Return of the Jedi. 3 years in the making. We're waiting for this.
Big moments felt bigger. Funny moments felt funnier. It feels like you are in a spaceship.
Let's see some of the reactions after.
My heart was beating. It's still beating now. And I just screamed, literally.
What do you think, Bo? With the white? Yeah. And who's your favorite?
But like that long-eared alien dude, I mean, he always messed up, but he ended up helping his army and stuff. I thought it was pretty good.
Strap in.
Watching Star Wars on the big screen. That's
sorry, that was maybe a little low.
It just feels like home again.
This is the way.
This is the way Star Wars is supposed to be.
This is so gay. This is so gay.
It's worth coming to this late at night.
Yeah.
It's never to be seen like this ever again.
Everyone must have his own ticket. Please have your ticket ready.
Go in and out for immediate main floor and balcony seating. Hold your own ticket as you enter the theater, please.
Move it.
Finally, the wait is over. The fantasy unfolds.
Yep. Again, oops, never to be seen again. Ever like that again. Isn't that a shame? Isn't that a shame? Oh, okay, now. Maybe we won't watch Generation Tech. I was going to make him one of the seals of the week. Let me get rid of some of these tabs. So many tabs. Oh, we did that. We're here. Man. Did you guys see Russell Crowe? Did you guys see this thing? Russell, I think Russell's always been a little bit of a piece of shit. But I like him. I have liked him. I like a lot of his performances and stuff. But I think he's had a couple of moments like this in his past. And it's not a good look. Whoa, that's really fucking loud.
Hi, Russell. How are you doing?
Are you listening? Yes. Stay where you are. Don't fucking push in on me. I'll come to you. Just put everybody's space. As soon as somebody's a dick, I'm going. You got me?
Yes.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
If you can add Maximus, maybe. Can you add Maximus, please? Can you add Maximus? Maximus?
No. Like, I don't know. Maybe you can't spell Maximus. I can understand wanting to set up some rules and some boundaries and stuff like that, but, you know, you don't have to be a dick about it either. As soon as somebody's a dick, I'm out of here. Anyway, I guess I don't know what that life is like. I could end up being a dick because fucking, you know, getting trampled. Good on you, Russell. Still think it's a bit of a dick move. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Fucking this Generation Tech video. Oh, does he get the nomination? All right, we're going to do Seal of the Week. And then while we're getting the votes in for Seal of the Week, we'll do, we'll watch Generation Tech's video on the Mandalorian and Grogu. How does that sound? I want to see your seal clapping emojis in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
I'm all the Jedi.
I'm all the Jedi. Here we go. Nominee number 1 goes to J.I. Jacob. Of course, how could it not this week? The Mandalorian Grogu was somehow even better the second time. A rousing adventure from start to finish, Jesus, that's filled with so much heart along the way, Jesus. Star Wars, I didn't actually read all of this. Star Wars has never been more back. This is the thing. For somebody like Jacob, if you don't know and you're new here, coming in from like Cam's stream or something like that, and you don't know who J.I. Jacob is, he always says things like Star Wars is back, but he always says that this is the best Star Wars. So I never really know what it's coming back from, because in his eyes, it's never gone to come back. So anyway, Star Wars has never been more back, and getting to experience this in theaters tonight was nothing short of incredible. This is the way. So that's nominee number 1. Nominee number 2 is also J.I. Jacob. Ha! Surprise, surprise. And he says, Grogu frantically tapping the back of Din's helmet is still one of the funniest bits in The Mandalorian and Grogu. So he gets nominee number 2. Obviously, we're still going to put him in as number 1 and number 2. And all the votes are going to go basically to him anyway. It was just going to be him winning tonight, because I was going to watch Generation Tech to begin with, and then we were going to add him in. But I don't even think we necessarily even need to do a poll. We'll actually just do this as 1, Jacob, and then this is 2, I guess. And I just want to put this in there because making fun of the fun thing, but then also going on to say it was better than I expected. Like, if your expectations were that low that this was better than you expected, I question your sanity in regards to what you want regarding entertainment. I saw the Mandalorian and Grogu. It was fun little movie. Why do I do that? It was a fun little movie. Jokes aside, it was better than I expected. So we'll just do the 2 in the poll, I guess. Oh, no, we don't want to do that. Hold on a second. One and 2. All right, get your votes in, ladies and gentlemen. So number 1 is Jacob for basically these 2 tweets. Like, he's just a retard. And then you've got Comics Cuts with their stupid take. I don't think... All right, let's watch Generation Text. Fucking, I don't know if I shared audio. Actually, before I do, let me run to the bathroom. Really, really quickly, guys. It's never long enough. I love the Mozza farting. I'll be right back, guys. Give me a couple of minutes.
Oh, Mozza, read that.
Mozza, don't let the American bitch.
Did you just fart?
Yes, I did. Tell you what to do.
I think it's bedtime, Mozza.
Question mark.
I think it's bedtime for Mozza. That's the type of videos that we watch on fucking Happy Hump Day.
I gotta pee. Oh my god.
All right. I realize it's not going to be long enough, so I'll be right back. You get nap time. It's getting old. We need something new.
Mom, can I have a popsicle?
No, honey, you'll spoil your...
Hey parents, tired of those out-of-control kids? Throwing embarrassing tantrums wherever they go. At the grocery store, on the playground, even at the dinner table. You've had it with parenting, but wait, there is a solution. Introducing Nap Time, the latest, most effective tool for child tantrum prevention. It's simple. Just douse a rag with our patented Sleepy Time formula, place it over your child's cry hole, press and hold gently for 8 to 12 seconds, and presto, no more tantrum.
I was beginning to think adoption was the only way out. Then a friend of mine introduced me to Nap Time. It's never been so quiet around here.
The secret lies in Naptime's revolutionary fast-to-sleep formula. Developed by military-trained scientist doctors from NASA, Naptime's powerful molecules rush to the child's brain on contact, gently inducing instant tranquility.
This is chloroform.
Already put those wallet-draining crap factories out on the street? That's okay! Naptime works in any situation. On the golf course. An awkward blind date.
I had a really good time tonight.
It even works on pets.
After we had our first child here, we regretted it almost immediately.
We didn't know that she'd cry so much.
Talk about defective. But thanks to Nap Time, our little Samantha here hasn't made a noise in weeks. I keep her in a shoebox.
Call now and we'll send you your very own 24-ounce bottle of Naptime solution for only 23 easy payments of $1.99. But wait, there's more! Act quickly and you'll also receive the all-new Dream Sack absolutely free. It's compact and portable for those on-the-go tantrums. Just cover it, tighten it, and forget about it. It's that simple.
We can't breathe good.
So if this looks familiar...
I feel pregnant.
Then don't wait! Order today and join the millions of Americans who just can't stop saying...
Thanks, Nap Time.
Thanks, Nap Time. Thanks, Nap Time.
Nap Time! When they just won't shut up. Nap Time is not legal in the following states.
Thanks, Nap Time. I'm going to try and play this video without my headphones on. Wearing my glasses and then wearing the headphones. See, my top of my ears are really red. Fucking sore. All right. Let's watch Generation Tech. Thanks, Nap Time. Thanks, Nap Time. Did I get all super chats? Yes, I think so. Yes, and all super chats until we get there go towards the Minas Tirith Lego Fund. So what we got? I know we got $50 in there so far. We need about $950 Australian. So we've got about $50 in there right now. The thing is like that's $50, not including what fucking YouTube's takes out their 30%. So it's going to take us a little bit longer, but we've got what 5, 10, another $25. And $25 a show towards it. That's kind of cool. We'll get there. We need a new centerpiece. We need to get rid of some of the Lego. I mean, some of the Star Wars Lego. We'll keep the Etgo. Keep some Ghostbusters stuff. We'll keep a couple of Lego things like the Millennium Falcon, probably. A couple of things. But we need to change it up a little bit. And why not go Lord of the Rings? Being that some of the stuff that they've come out with is incredibly good. I just wish it was even bigger. Like, especially that Minas Tirith. Like, it's big, but you kind of wish it was bigger. Especially once you finish building it and you think, oh, I've just put like nearly 4,000 pieces or something into this thing. And, you know, it's not as big as you always think that it's going to be when you hear that amount of pieces. Do a gaming stream, you cunt. I will. I'm going to start doing some gaming streams again. I've got Lego Batman, so we're going to play that. I was going to play it last night, but I got caught up. Fucking didn't get dinner till late again last night. But anyway, I will be doing some gaming streams again, for sure. And hopefully we're going to start getting some videos out again. I kind of liked this last video that I did. I got to say, it kind of almost felt like the pressure was taken off a little bit, not by being on screen within the video. So I'm thinking maybe my videos, I might just do like that. It's kind of easier to navigate through all the things, all the tabs and everything that I want to get through. And then when I do my streams, you can see me. Something like that. All right, let's watch Generation Tech because this is 13 minutes. We might speed it up at a point, but let's see.
Hello there, friends. Welcome back to another episode of Generation Tech. My name is Alan, and I just got back from watching The Mandalorian and Grogu, and I'm going to be honest with you, both me and Congo, we watched...
I got to ask, like, just how the audio is, because, again, I don't have my headphones in, so just let me know if it's echoey or bad or anything like that, and we'll do the headphones.
Watched it together. We both fell asleep, like, a few times during the screening, and...
Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting that. Again, based on the title, this is peak Mandalorian and Grogu, ... But is that enough? It kind of like it makes. I thought he was going to sort of shill for this a little bit more. We'll see.
I actually think it has a lot more to do with the fact that I'm getting older and that I just am not getting enough sleep.
Oh, it's not because it was a bad movie, and it's not because it was boring that you fell asleep during the movie. It's because you're an old man. I get it. I get it. Look, you know, I remember when I went and saw Star Wars, you know, the prequels in theaters and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure my dad fell asleep because he's an old man. No, I'm not remembering that correctly because he was definitely wide awake. I don't know. Okay, Nicholas, I just want to say hi and thanks for coming over. I love doing flashcasts. It's a lot of fun. So like this is another cope. It's straight off the bat. It's cope. Oh, me and my buddy, we both fell asleep at certain points during this movie. But I think it had more to do with the fact that I'm an old man and I don't get enough sleep anymore that I actually fell asleep during this movie. Are you kidding me? What are we talking about?
Rather than the movie being bad. I actually think Mandalorian and Grogu was fine. It was really entertaining and fun. I checked out the 3D version and
fun.
In some ways, I felt like I was watching one long amusement park ride. First, let's talk about what The Mandalorian gets right. And it gets a lot of things right. Spoiler alert. I think everything from the visuals to the sound design to the sets and character design to the background were a notch above what we usually see from.
It's always what they start with, isn't it, guys? It's the visuals, it's the sound, it's the audio, it's the artificial shit, rather than the context of the writing and the story and the plot and the character development and the world building. It looked great. It sounded great. It's always the same fucking thing.
The Mandalorian TV show, which is kind of what Favreau talked about in some of his interviews. He's got a lot more time, a lot more budget for this, 2-hour runtime, and it clearly shows here. Gone is that eerie vibe.
That's why you fell asleep a couple of times during the movie, because the runtime was perfect. There was never any slow or boring or no. It's just you're an old man. Silly of me.
From the volume production method that makes the world feel muted, dull, and plain. The world of The Mandalorian is absolutely beautiful. From the swamps of Nal Hutta with its many exotic fauna to the moon of Shikari with its over-the-head railroad system and crowded city streets that oddly remind me of parts of Queens.
I just want to remind everybody that this thing that Grogu is rocketing off in and steering around and everything is a pusher or a pram or a stroller, whatever you call it, from wherever you're from. It is a fucking baby pram that transforms into a rocket egg. The Grogu can actually steer.
Like Jackson Heights. I wish we had gotten our Shada, but for now, I guess Shikari will have to suffice. If Andor was criticized for not having enough aliens and too many humans, The Mandalorian definitely addresses that issue. We get to see more of Zeb Orrelios, who looks terrific on screen.
That never gets introduced to any audience members that may not actually know who the fuck this guy is because they never watched the cartoon, which is most people.
It's one of the most seamless transitions for a character going from animation to live
action.
And
that's
we also get to see a bunch of Hutts rolling around in ecstasy in some kind of orgy, something I never really wanted to see. So I don't know why they had to show me that. So that image is now seared in my head. It was, however, really nice to see Rhoda the Hutt all grown up. You can see the resemblance from.
It's interesting how you can talk about the Hutt mud fight thing that they have in this movie and how bad that is, but yet still have a massive amount of praise for this.
When he was young, I mean, it's mostly just his face because that was like 50% of his body when he was a baby. I do have to say though, watching Rhoda the Hutt fight in the arena, it was a little bit weird for me. It was a little bit clunky. There's something about their movement that just didn't make any sense to me. Maybe it's like the physics of it all just looked wrong. It's the fact that they look like slugs, but they don't really move like slugs most of the time. I mean, sometimes they'll just have this outburst of activity and athleticism that you don't see coming, but most of the time they just seem restrained. Maybe it's because of their stubby arms. And because of this, I felt like all the fights with Rhoda the Hutt were very low stake. I just felt like there wasn't much that was going to happen because of that limited range of movement. And then you have the lore nerd inside of me who knows that a human trying to fight a Hutt in hand-to-hand combat is, just kind of stupid. It's more futile than a man trying to fight a gorilla. The Hutts are an apex predator, believe it or not. Killing someone by sitting on their head is just as deadly as, kicking someone in the head and killing.
It's funny, again, that he talks about this stuff and and nothing that he's saying right now is a good thing. Nothing that he's saying right now is a good thing. But it's going to be interesting to see how he spins this to be a good thing. Because it certainly comes across straight off the bat that this is a positive review. I fell asleep, but it's not the fault of the movie. It's the fault of my age and my lack of sleep.
Right? I mean, they ultimately achieved the same thing. But anyway, these are more like nitpicks than anything actually wrong with the Hutts. Overall, the depiction of the Hutts
It's just a simple nitpick. This is the thing that somebody like you that's a bit of a lore master, self-proclaimed, I guess, should know, about, again, the Hutts speaking Huttese compared to basic, the Hutts and translator droids, basically what we mentioned when I was going through my sort of review of it.
live action is really cool. I mean, we've gone a long way since the original
You're a
trilogy. And Jabba.
moron.
The Gladiator Arena battle, which featured the full set of the monsters from the Jajaric board, was really fun and probably one of the more chaotic battles I've seen, in recent cinema. Like, so many things are just happening on screen. That's kind of a scene I like to watch later when it comes on streaming a few times, so I could see all the little details. But yeah, like once the monsters started attacking each other, things just got completely out of control, which I really liked. The motion from the monsters was pretty choppy, which mimics the original monster figurines we see on the hollow board in the Millennium Falcon in the first movie. I believe what they're doing here is using a mix of like miniatures, stop motion kind of stuff, and then they're compositing it with actual actors and then putting backgrounds in it. It's probably very complex, but what you get is a very unique kind of look that is part like 70s sci-fi.
The fuck's up with this baby stroller BS? Yeah, fucking ridiculous.
By low budget, stop action kind of, fighting combined with like more like glossy, high fidelity textures and graphics you see from modern CGI. I think it works. It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but yeah, it's kind of nice to see something that really fundamentally feels different when it comes from animation and combat. I think overall, The Mandalorian and Grogu plays out like almost a production nerd's.
Dude, how does this dude have nearly 900,000 subscribers? It's one of the most boring videos to watch. You're almost coming across with the same sort of attitude and talking and monotoneness as The Mandalorian. It's quite incredible, to be honest. He's telling on himself. Yeah, it seems to be.
Dream. There's just so many finely crafted moments and like unnecessarily complicated over the top shots, which will only make a production guy happy, I think, or give them headaches. Actually, I don't know. They really also flex their puppetry this time with Baby Gogurt and the Anzalians, which creates so many adorable moments. And the music from Ludwig Göransson is fantastic. I feel like Star Wars and the Disney era has really leaned into electronic music, and I'm all for it. The choreography for most of the fight scenes, especially the Dinjarin scenes, are really tight. I think the first sequence when Mando Dad chases down the Imperial Warlord is a great example of just how comfortable the crew has.
Did he say Mando Dad? Did he just say Mando Dad?
In the Disney era has really leaned into electronic music, and I'm all for it. The choreography for most of the fight scenes, especially the Dinjarin scenes, are really tight, I think. The first sequence when Mando Dad chases down the Imperial Warlord is a great example.
Mando Dad! Oh, it's leaking into these people now. Mando Daddy.
How comfortable the crew has gotten with these fast-moving gun battles that quickly transition from one location to another location to a larger set-piece battle with multiple AT-AT walkers. It all looks amazing. The weight and the gravity of the machines look real. This is what Star Wars should look like with today's technology. Mando also kind of fights a little smarter than he has in previous movies. I think he has a lot of neat tricks. Like in an early scene, there's like two stormtroopers that are camping the doorway, which we all hate if you play FPS. And so he hits the ground with like an area effect flamethrower weapon, killing both of them. I thought that was a really smart, low, cool move. There's a lot of stuff like that in this version of The Mandalorian, which is to be expected, right? I mean, this is what you kind of want to see. It's not too realistic where it wouldn't be fun. It's more tactical, but again, that is what is entertaining. And here's the thing, all those mechanics that the Favreau Filoni team gets right, all the fun stuff, the visuals, the effects, are basically the highlight of the show. Like I said, I felt like this was an amusement ride more than a movie. I'm sure this movie had a theme, and like...
Well, the problem is it's not an amusement ride. It's supposed to be a movie. So I don't know whether or not you're trying to play that off as a good thing or not, but it's clearly not.
Some deeper moments, but then again, they put a helmet on the main character and a sidekick doesn't talk, so we might as well get with the program and focus on what's important to them. I mean, the real problem with this movie is, as I left the theater with Congo, I basically asked, like, why did they make this movie? Like, what was the point of making this movie? I mean, yes, Grogu and Mando are extremely popular, and
I'm so confused by whether or not this is supposed to be a good or a bad review. Aren't you? I'm so confused. I think with what he's trying to say, I'm supposed to think that this is okay and that it's a good movie and to go and see it. But then everything where he goes off and he starts describing certain parts of it, it makes me think, why are you telling me to go and see this movie?
I think Disney is obligated to like at least make a movie every now and then, right? Or at least a few shows every year for their streaming audience. For those who want more from Star Wars, more story, more gravitas, more drama and impact, this is definitely not the movie for you, I think. Or this is not the movie that will scratch those itches. Not only is the story very self-contained, you don't really need to see The Mandalorian or any other TV show in the recent Star Wars cinematic universe, for that matter, to enjoy this movie. There's also very little character development for Din and Grogu, which we at least did see in the TV shows. This movie almost feels like a short story in a wider anthology, like an OVA episode. It's the extra stuff that actually the super fans would really enjoy because they're obsessed with Mando and Grogu, and they just want to see more of that. And yeah, like for me, it works because they're adorable together, and I'm interested. But I think if you're a casual Star Wars fan,
Oh my God.
if you are not into the Mandalorian Grogu vibe, you might not really be interested in this movie. You definitely don't need to consume this content to better understand these characters. As a matter of fact, one of the things that was really kind of weird was just the pacing.
Isn't that the craziest thing? Is that whatever comes next in regards to the continuation of whatever narrative points they want to take from this and turn into the stories, whether or not it's like a Mando season 4 or a Zeb story or whatever it is that they actually take from this, you will be able to watch, let's say, The Mandalorian 3 seasons, The Book of Boba Fett, and then move straight onto that without even watching this movie. This movie is so irrelevant to everything that happens within the universe that if you don't ever watch it, you're not missing anything. And isn't that crazy that it's the movie that is the missing piece that you don't need to actually watch, as opposed to all the other homework or the TV shows that you do need to watch to basically be up to date with where we are in the timeline with the main storylines. It's crazy.
In this movie, the TV show was never really heavy on dialogue or necessarily slow, where they allowed the viewers.
I find that so funny. What is the even point of having a card? It's just a silhouette outline of a head. No other name, no other writing or anything.
Let impactful moments sink in and soak a little bit. But The Mandalorian Grogu, especially in the beginning, was just way too cut, move. I felt like a lot of stuff was being left out. Like in the beginning, Mando is hesitant to take a job from Sigourney Weaver from the New Republic because it involves working with the Hutts, but like Sigourney Weaver kind of says, well, we got you this new Racer Crest, so you might as well try it out. And Mando's like, all right, I'm going to try out this ship. It doesn't mean I'm going to go on this mission, but he ends up just going into the ship, fires it up, and like before he's even out of atmosphere, he hits the hyperdrive to now HUD, and he's suddenly just in the mission. It makes sense from pacing, right? Like you want to get to the action as soon as possible.
But that's the thing. It really doesn't make sense in the pacing. They made the same mistake again in this movie in regards to hyperspace travel, or I like to call it Disney's hyperspace teleportation, where they just basically they go into hyperspace and then at their destination. And other places within the universe that where time should have sort of taken place, no time goes by, not that there's too much of them showing that in this. It's more so in the TV show that you sort of notice that more. But in this, you do actually have it where, boom, they're leaving and boom, they're there.
Possible, and I feel like a lot of the decisions made here were all about entertainment, action, getting people's dopamine kicks in quickly. And I think the pacing suffers a lot in certain areas. It just feels weird and rushed. So will you enjoy The Mandalorian and Grogu? Well, I guess it's all about expectations. If you came into this movie thinking to yourself, I just want to have a fun time and be entertained, then Mandalorian does an excellent job. If you're a fan of The Mandalorian and Grogu, this will be great for you as well. As I mentioned, if you're a fan of the Clone Wars and other Star Wars animated content, you'll love seeing your favorite animated characters in live action and done extremely well. I mean, Embo and his doggo, Kyber.
What a fucking resounding fucking positive review of this fucking movie.
Are definitely a treat to see in live action. Again, the fact that Filoni created this character and also was heavily involved in this live action movie means that, like with Zeb, the transition for Embo from animation to live action was flawless. We even get to see some of his signature moves, like him using his hat.
That's another character that was never actually introduced. For you to even know or understand any part of this character within the movie, you will have had to have watched this. You will have had to have seen like the Clone Wars. You will have had to have seen whatever other pieces that Embo is in. I think it's just that. Maybe Rebels.
Like blaster bolts, it's really all well done. But if you wanted something a bit more, a story that connects Mandalorian to other parts of the Star Wars galaxy, or the emergence of some great new threat that will challenge the good guys, this is just not it. Mandalorian Grogu is very much just a light summer blockbuster movie. I think the fact that they made this movie was just more of a financial decision. Again, Mandalorian and Grogu, they're still kind of popular.
A bad financial decision if that's what the decision is.
not as popular as they were a few years ago, but you got to cash in on characters while they're hot. I do like that The Mandalorian and Grogu is a very kind movie. It has a lot of heart and empathy, which I'm all for. In this crazy political and media environment, I mean, it's nice just to have a movie of 2 hours of goodness and kindness and good guys defeating bad guys. And
Shut
we even get
up.
to see a Hutt who's kind of redeemable, which is really interesting. This is a 2-hour film filled with a lot of wholesome and touching moments, especially between Din Djarin and his little guy. Although again, nothing really happens. The emotions and the relationships are definitely real.
I'm so confused. Am I supposed to like what fucking I'm hearing or not? Dude, you're a fence rider. You're a fence rider. You want the people that fucking hate this shit to watch your shit and say, oh, look, he thought that part of the movie was shit too. But then you want to try and justify it and say, oh, the reason why I fell asleep wasn't because it was a boring fucking movie. It was because I'm old and stupid and crippled and fucking whatever. And I needed to close my eyes. I needed some shut-eye during the course of this movie because I'm just old. You want those people to fucking... You want the people that like it to... I don't know, man. It's fucking stupid. I don't know. I'm so confused by what you're telling me.
And I think some of the best moments in the movie are the quiet moments where Grogu is alone and he has to take care of himself and Din
Are
Djarin.
they the moments where you fell asleep? Are they the moments where you fell asleep? Because it's certainly the moments where I fell asleep.
I mean, these moments are also clearly designed to attack the neurons in every parent's head. It's kind of like a cheap trick, but it worked. It worked on me. It worked on like the dozen or other people in the theater that were watching this on 2 p.m. on a Thursday. They're mostly like middle-aged people. And then, yeah.
2 p.m. on a Thursday, and there's multiple people in the theater falling asleep because they're old. But go and see it.
Everyone thought that Grogu was adorable in the audience. But it's kind of sad, like, that's what the audience was. I remember how The Force Awakens was on opening day, how many people lined up and got dressed up, how many people yelled and screamed with the light as their favorite characters appeared on screen. It was a much more communal and exciting way to see a movie. Of course, this isn't all...
And that will never happen again. Can't you guys see that? Can't you guys see the damage that's been done? And the fact that there's been multiple different levels of fans that have actually been fucking blamed by you and fucking Star Wars Explained and Disney themselves to the point where they're like, fuck this shit. It's not worth me caring anymore. You fucking...
Just about the decline of Star Wars, right? I think a lot of other cinematic universes are suffering too. It's just the overall decline of movies, movie screens. Because
and that's because what they're creating. I want to hear his excuse. He's about to say, but it's because they're grabbing these things and saying, "Oh, fucking Tolkien was fucking racist. We've got to change that." Oh, George Lucas was sexist and racist. We got to change that. The white straight man. We got to change that. A woman can do exactly what a man can do. We better make sure we do women.
Put a ticket in, make a lemon gay. Make a lemon gay.
you do have phones. You do have screens that you take everywhere. You have so many different streaming platforms. I mean, like I used to be in the production industry, and the reason I left was I realized that like my skills were becoming quickly automated. And this like 15 years ago, I realized that like, and pretty much soon, unless you have good connections or you have a lot of money, you're just not going to be able to work well in that industry. And today I see it like it just takes fewer and fewer people to make content. And the good thing is it allows a lot of people who otherwise would not have a chance to make content. But what ends up suffering are these big Hollywood productions. And unfortunately, that is what Mandalorian and Grogu is. And people simply don't have time to see films like this anymore, especially if it's a cookie cutter summer blockbuster, which in all fairness, Mandalorian and Grogu.
I gotta ask, there is this shot right at the beginning here. Hang on.
And people simply don't have time to see films like this anymore, especially if it's
this shot here, guys. I need the Star Wars nerds and the ones that know shit. This is a reused shot from somewhere. I can't remember which sequel. I'm pretty sure it's one of the sequels. That this is a reused shot from one of the sequels. Now, this shot that they use here is only in like the opening credits when they're playing music and showing credits. It's just one of those credit shots. But I swear that's a reused shot from the sequels. Is it when could be at the end of Force Awakens when Rey comes back and Chewie walks right past Leia and Rey and Leia hug, you know, that scene, like when they're landing. It could be there. I'll have to check, but I swear that's a reused shot.
It's a cookie cutter summer blockbuster, which, in all fairness, Mandalorian and Grogu isn't exactly. I do think it's unique enough in its style and visual representation where it is actually really worth seeing it for a certain type of audience. And again, like I said, the execution and the passion is clearly here from the production team. The writing team, I don't know. I don't know where Disney's writing team is half the time, unless they're working for Andor. But as a lore nerd, as a very specific type of Star Wars fan that, let's be honest, doesn't represent the mass audience, I would have liked to see something more meaningful, more connected to the larger plans of Star Wars. I wanted to see Luke being revealed at the end. You know, maybe he's going to train Go-Gurt or something like that. But then again,
dude, what are you talking about? He's training for 2 years. This is retarded. This is retarded now. I kind of wish we had got Luke at the end like we did at the end of Mando Season 2 and take Grogu and train him. We already went through that arc and fucking Grogu decided fucking his connection to Mando was better than training as a Jedi with Luke. And Luke sent him back in a whole different show. What are you talking about? Jon Favreau said he was with fucking Luke for 2 years. What are you talking about?
what are you talking about? What are you talking about? This is the start of a new era, and so it will take time before we actually understand what Filoni will do at the helm. What I do know is they can't continue making movies.
It's not a new era. We've been going through this era through Disney Plus. It's not a new era at all. This is cope again. It's bullshit.
It's like this because, again, I just think it's so crowded out there that Star Wars can't just be entertaining. It has to be something more, you know, to really stand out in this environment. And I think, honestly, this movie could have just been a filler episode in like the 4th season of The Mandalorian. A very beautiful, polished, and well-executed filler episode, but still.
Very polished, well-executed filler episode. Fucking... I'm so confused by this again.
Filler. Well, guys, that is my opinion on the movie. If you guys have seen it, I'm looking forward to seeing what your thoughts are. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification button down below so you don't miss out on the rest of our awesome content. And as usual,
why Embo always survives. Thank you for that load of garbage of a review. Well, there you have it. There you fucking have it. Now we need to go back. And I did have that, actually. This is fucking apparently Jeremy going after Jeremy again about pop culture and talking about this stuff. This is the only thing that's of any interest in the Disney Star Wars fan base right now is the conversations and the dialogue that's actually taking place in the videos that are being made. So I don't know what you're talking about there, Jeremy. I really don't. All right, let's see how the poll is going. Oh, we got a good amount of votes in. Thank you, everybody. And I think it was pretty obvious. We're going to end the poll there. Thank you, everybody that voted. In last place with 19% of the vote was obviously Comics Cuts. And the winner of this week's Seal of the Week with 81% of the vote was J.I. Aker with his shilly, sealy, double down tweet this week. Well done, Jacob. You're this week's Seal of the Week. And that's the game, ladies and gentlemen. And that's the game. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. I know it was a bit... it was a bit all over the place with this review, to be honest with you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video that I put out. I'm going to start getting into doing some more videos again, leaping into that. So get prepared for a few more videos. I'm going to be doing some gaming streams as well. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications as well. But yeah, we're going to do some gaming streams again too. I've got the Batman Lego game, so we're going to play some of that. We might play a little bit tomorrow night. We'll see how we go for time. Again, I work full time, get home, fucking make dinner, all that kind of shit. It gets late. And I'm getting old. I'm getting old and I need my fucking beauty sleep. Hear that, Generation Tech? I sleep before I start watching a movie so that I can actually make it through the movie. The problem is when I started watching Mandalorian and Grogu, it was just so boring that I just couldn't help but fall asleep. I reckon if I had been on my phone, and I intentionally didn't get on my phone, which I wanted to, but I intentionally didn't get on my phone because I wanted to just pay attention so that I made sure that I could get everything I needed to out of just a single viewing. And I still fell asleep. So, but thank you to all the lurkers as well. Thank you to Camelot, Cody. Thanks for the raid, brother. And also to Grizzy. Thanks for having me on your stream. And thanks for the raid as well. Thanks for all the people that hung out from those raids too. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you to everybody that super chatted, all the members and all the rewatchers. You are all the best. Thank you so much. We will see you next week for another Casual Rage. We'll see what we're going to fucking talk about. And you'll see me on the weekend on Flashcast, where we get a little drunk and I get a little bit loose and out of control. And I'm sorry for that, but it is what it is. All right, guys, have a good night. We will see you next week. Peace.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing the movie. There's one scene that sticks out, and it probably sticks out for everybody, which is that, you know, have you heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
What are you talking about?
They came bounding over.
Fuck off! Disney! You fucking cunt! A few minutes? Are you kidding? At the rate they're gaining?
No, what is it? You have to shoot this. Traveling through hyperspace is like Dustin Crop's kid. Without precise calculations, we fly too close to a store. They're bounce into a supermarket and then...
Yeah.
Be a hell of a mess.
What's that?
Watch. You're going to lose your deflector shields. Go strap yourselves in. Be careful on the way out.
Yeah, sure. I'm taking it very cautiously.
You... Go away!
We bounced too near a supermarket?